In the examples so far, we've only ever seen two members being connected together by a pin or a peg or maybe a hinge connection, and we saw for the most part that the forces or the couples were being applied along the length of the members and not at these internal pins. So what happens when we have these multi-member junctions, or what happens when a force or a couple is being applied at an internal connection? Well, when this happens, things get a little bit more complicated. We're not just going to be able to draw one member and then the member it's attached to and draw equal and opposite forces at that connection point. Really, this is a shortcut when we have exactly two members being connected together. In general, really what we have to draw is the free body diagram of that pin connection or however they're being connected together. And then on that pin diagram, we're going to be drawing what each of the members is doing to the pin. So if there are three members connected at one pin, in the diagram of the pin, we're going to have the horizontal and vertical components of each of those three forces acting on the pin. And then in turn, when we draw the pictures of those three individual members, we are going to draw what the pin is doing to each of those members. Now here, the pin is exerting a different amount of force on each of those members. We cannot assume that's going to equally be distributing the same amount of force on each of them. So what's going to happen is we're adding an additional free body diagram. It's a pin, so it's going to be a 2D particle equilibrium, and that's going to help us solve what are all the forces acting on each of these members. And the same is going to be true if we have a force acting on the junction point of two members. We still want to draw this pin picture because we're going to see what does each individual member do to the pin, and then in the pin diagram is where we're going to include that applied force. Then in the free body diagrams of the two connected members, that applied force will not appear, but the force that the pin exerts on member one will appear in the free body diagram of the first member. The force that the pin exerts on member two will appear in the free body diagram of member 2. And again, the force exerted by the pin we cannot assume is the same in that case on member 1 and member 2. That's what we're going to need to be solving for.